Many employees resign from work because they are going through intolerable working conditions. In other words, you just can't take it anymore. Whether it's abuse from your co-workers, your manager, supervisor, customers, whatever the situation is. Remember, there is a mechanism in the law to protect you in this situation. It is called a constructive dismissal, where a person, an employee, is forced to resign from work because their working conditions were intolerable. But before you rush off and resign, make sure, number one, you have proof of this intolerable working conditions. And remember, it is not a subjective test, which means the judge or the commissioner is not going to say, what did you think about it? The court's going to look at objectively another reasonable employee in your position. Would they also have resigned? It's a tough ask, so make sure you got the proof. And the second important thing is, you must try to preserve the employment relationship. In other words, don't just rush off and resign. Make an effort to keep the employment relationship. Show that you are willing to stay on. Show that you're willing to try and resolve this. This will count greatly towards you. How do you preserve the employment relationship? Write an email. You don't even have to do a formal grievance. The court says they just want to see you trying to resolve the matter. And remember, the email just can't be a once-off email. Here's the problem and then you forget about it. Show some kind of meaningful, genuine effort. So-and-so is doing this to me. I don't like it. Here's how we can solve the problem. Maybe we have call a meeting, thrash it out. I'll work separately, they'll work separately. The point is, it must be a genuine effort. And if you can show that, you might have grounds for constructive dismissal. And lastly, if you work your notice period, if the company asks you to stay on and you agree to stay on, it's going to be very difficult to prove constructive dismissal. The reason why is under cross-examination, the company will just ask you, if it was so intolerable, why did you work your notice period? Why didn't you leave immediately? These are things to think about before rushing off to the CCMA for a constructive dismissal claim. Not all situations are the same. The point is, gather your evidence, make sure you try and preserve the employment relationship, and resign only as a last resort.